And we're live.
Oh,
Yay, finally. 1, 2, 3, go. Finally, we're live. Hi, everybody.
ooh, that
Welcome
was
back.
definitely my fault.
Well, I'll let you tell the story soon. I just want to try to do the intro, because I have a new catchphrase for Crypto Talks. And it's going to be at the end of what I'm going to say. Okay, so it's like... I can't do it. I'm going to laugh. Okay, welcome to Crypto Talks, right? That's the first thing you see. Welcome to Crypto Talks. I'm Phil, and today I'm joined by John, and we're going to talk about these things, blah, 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 blah. And actually, we're just going to talk about like how crypto is being beaten up by the United States, but they're doing it with pillows, basically. They think they have bricks in their pillows, but it's just feathers.
Maybe an egg or two.
Effect. Maybe an egg or two, yeah. And maybe they haven't washed the casings or anything. So, okay, but then I do the intro thing, and then I go, so let's talk. Because it's Crypto Talks, right? No, I don't know.
I actually quite like that. You should get that down.
I liked it first. That means I win. Anyway, I can see Imre is in the chat spamming. He's saying, look, he's happy to see you, John.
I want to see Imre's face. I'll have to join in the Discord.
Yeah. John is always late. Actually, okay, so John, I'm going to leave this comment on this, and then I'm going to let you explain to everybody why we started 41 minutes later than we were supposed to. Or actually, it's not, because I pushed it to almost half an hour, but you can explain.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So initially, I was like just trying to get home. Was out with my family trying to take care of a few errands. Got home, so I was going to grab some water real quick. Decided I would go to the bathroom because I thought I had enough time. Seemed reasonable. Go to the bathroom, wash my hands, finish up, look out the window, and I see some weird guy hanging out underneath one of my friend's vehicles, just like chilling underneath this Jeep, and then just keeps dodging up and down randomly. I've never seen that before, and I'm in a college town, and I'm just like, that's probably not okay. So I go and grab one of my friends, and we go downstairs because we're on the 3rd floor. And as soon as we open up the door, the guy disappears, but he leaves his hat still underneath the Jeep, and we're like, where the fuck did he go? And so we're looking around, and all of a sudden we see him popping out from another vehicle across the street, and we're like, what the hell? I'm not sure if he's homeless. I'm not sure if he's just here trying to look for free things underneath vehicles. I really don't know, but my friend and I tried to like take as many pictures and document what we could, mostly because we didn't know if he actually took anything off the vehicles, because we didn't really know what he was doing in the first place. Yeah. Kind of threw me off. Kind of made me a little late as well. So my bad. But yeah, now I had to inform a bunch of people there was potentially a homeless guy stealing things from our parking lot.
That's. I guess you're excused. It was random thing.
Honestly, it was. It was super
you wouldn't be able to make that up. It's like when a story is so unbelievably ridiculous, it's like, oh, he's not lying.
Like I was standing there like taking a video, and I was like, who's ever stuffed this? I don't know. But there's the guy, and you can just see him like running down the street further, and then he just disappears.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We took a few pictures.
So that was fun. So you'll put it. You can find the pictures from this adventure in the Discord later, you guys. If you ask for them, John might be able to share them.
Yeah, I'll ask the parking guys if I can share it.
All right, fantastic. Well, okay. Well, welcome to here. Let's see what we can go over today. Because the first thing I want to talk about is a video that was released by Coin Bureau today.
Ooh.
And they talked about how the SEC got hacked, and how the SEC's basically balance sheet was shared from by this hack, and it turns out that they have a lot of cash and they had like some stocks or whatever. I don't think it was gold too or something, but they also have the the SEC is the biggest holder of Dogecoin in the world. 24% or something like that of Dogecoin is owned by the SEC, who is trying to crush crypto. But I almost started crying because I was laughing so hard at this video. And obviously, for everyone who's not understood this yet, it's an April Fool's joke, right? But I swear to God, I was laughing so much about it, so it didn't even cross my mind that they were joking in the beginning. I was just laughing and laughing and laughing. I tears were coming down my face, and I was sitting here without my glasses like this, just laughing at that. I don't know why it was so funny to me, but when he said that, that the SEC is the biggest holder of Doge, like one of the biggest shitcoins in my opinion, I just couldn't stop laughing.
I mean, some people made some nice money off of Dogecoin.
But it's nice to see that the crypto content creators have a really great sense of humor, because that would have been the funniest thing to have ever happened in the crypto space, like ever. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you seen any more April Fool's jokes around?
I have seen a few April Fool's jokes. Nothing has really been like that exceptional. Someone got one with like a radio station earlier today, and I just caught like the end of it, and the guy is literally just like, I wish I didn't come to work today. And then he just switches on to a song. So yeah, that was the local radio station here. And I was like, he hates his life.
Nice. Well, and hi Sue, by the way. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Sue's crypto channel. I forgot that he actually has a channel. I know you uploaded some stuff to that too before. Anyway, let's get into some stuff here. There is actually some fun news that I wanted to share. First of all, is this one? This is just fun news with Crypto Talks. This is an article from Cointelegraph. So apparently, Kraken has started sponsoring the Williams racing team in Formula One, and they have put their logo on the cars, but the logo is comprised of the Bitcoin white paper text, which I thought was awesome. I love that. That's actually really so cool. Yeah. So that's nice to see. Like, I know that there are a lot of other crypto companies have been doing a lot of sponsoring a lot of F1 teams. I know last season in F1, I saw that we had, well, FTX doesn't count, but FTX had some some stuff there. Crypto.com was the big one, really. That was doing a lot of PR.
Yes, they do have some nice ones.
Yeah,
so kind of cool to see it expanding in that way, though. And then
I like that they picked F1 as well, which is a global sport. It's not as big in the United States as it is in Europe, but it still spans globally.
There's even a few NFT projects. Actually, I think there's one NFT project. I believe it's called Azuki, and they paired up with Red Bull Racing.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah,
but it's nice to see as well that they're picking Formula One, which is a smart move, because like NASCAR and baseball, for example, is kind of massive in the United States, but everywhere else, everyone's like, whatever. Yeah, so it's true though.
Japan loves baseball. How could you say
Japan loves. I know. I played baseball before, man. I used to play baseball in Sweden, so it was fun because my team was like, it was like me at 14, 15 years old, and two other guys at 15, and then the rest was like 9 in the team. So it was like, because nobody played baseball in Sweden, they're just,
oh my God,
like, whoever lives near, like it was whoever lives near it, near like the field.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, you can be on our team. So it's like it was a bunch of 9-year-olds, but we still won some matches because the other teams were also 9-year-olds and 15-year-olds. We weren't sponsored by Kraken or anything, though. Obviously not. It was 20 years ago. Uh, but yes, I wanted to just mention that because I like F1 a lot. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, John, is actually that crypto beat everything so far in Q1.
Yes,
like the
yes,
crypto
it
asset
has.
class, which
Yes,
is, yeah, bro.
that's an actually impressive feat, I'd say, across the board right now.
Yeah,
Something
for
that's
sure.
quite phenomenal for that sector to
Yeah.
to actually have been able to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's also
Uh,
a show of force as far as where money is going.
yeah, for sure. I mean, granted, the market cap of crypto is way less than the market cap of stocks, obviously. But it's at least showing that, like, just if I do this just super quick, just why is yeah, there we go. So just looking at the Bitcoin, I'm just showing this for this thing down here.
Hmm.
So year to date, Bitcoin is up 71.55%. That's year to date. So that's so far this year, which is Q1, because Q1 ended, I guess, today. Yeah, I think so. And then you compare that to something like, let's take the SPX, for example, and it's up 6.64% so far this year. That's the difference in earnings that people can make.
Yeah.
Just by, I mean, obviously there's, I think Tesla had a really good run as well. Yeah, 75% is even up more than Bitcoin is, but
I
Tesla is
mean,
a weird stock.
kind of expect Tesla to
Yeah,
do its own thing.
yeah, I would say so. But the fact that crypto is beating everything up is so far in Q1, and usually
Mhm.
people tend to say that whatever happens in Q1 is kind of what the rest year will do as well. A lot of the time, it's not doesn't mean it's going to keep going up 70% every quarter or anything. But basically, if Q1 is a good quarter, then the remaining 3 quarters tend to be like, we're not going to have a minus on year to date at the end of this year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
Most
makes sense.
most likely, no promises.
Most likely.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. I mean,
It is
looking at the whole,
crypto.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But at the same time as this is happening, where crypto is kind of exploding out of a very long and boring bear market, and I'm not saying bear market is over, but trend is reversed at least. At least now, with all this happening at the same time as the US is basically trying to kill crypto with the whole choke point thing. We have politicians doing weird stuff, and on top of that, actually, the government is actually selling Bitcoin right now from the old Silk Road thing, which was back in like 2014, I think, where the government basically, what do you call it? They obtained from the Silk Road thing about 50,000 Bitcoin, I think it was 51,000 Bitcoin, maybe something like that, worth like a lot of money. But they started selling that off now instead of giving back the crypto, or instead of giving back the Bitcoin directly to the users that lost it. They are deciding to sell it off instead, and they dumped it on March the 14th. I'm not sure if it was. So if you're looking at March 14, yeah. So crypto pumped that day at the same time as the government is dumping and also trying to kill crypto and everything. So that just screams strength to me, at least. I mean,
That's a fair point. There's just a lot more strength coming in than there seems to be any of this detrimental talk. I mean, even
mm-hmm.
even when we were talking about beforehand, Senator Warren and
My favorite part.
this whole tirade of making an anti-crypto party and trying to, I don't know, lead a force for good against crypto. It's it's almost laughable in the sense of like how much you think about the US government has protected banks time and time and time again, completely screwing over consumers and people who hold their money in banks. While the banks get away scot-free, sometimes with more money than what they lost, which is just crazy. And yet now you have this woman who's going out of her way to say that crypto is just the worst thing ever, super terrible, going to destroy just everything about the United States. And yet, honestly, I've never ever seen a more fair system of monetary value passed around.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest part is when people ask Warren, like, so why is it so bad? And she's like, I don't know. basically,
Her answers
doesn't even
do
know.
kind of falter as far as like what she actually has to say. I'll try and pull up a quick quote from one of the last ones that I saw, because
I mean,
it was just
even the quality of this poster is the red underline is covering some of the text. Like, did she do that herself in Paint? Like, I can't not laugh at that. I'm sorry. I used to have to make fun of her. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, on top of this, John, I mentioned this to you earlier, but on top of, like, this is her run for the Senate, right?
correct, and it's based off of money laundering.
Yeah, and it seems like she's trying to win votes like this, but the problem is that around 50%, I think it was 51% of Republicans like crypto. You know, it doesn't mean that they're investing in it or anything, but 51% of voters for the Republicans, I think it was 51, don't quote me on that, but I believe it was 51, they like crypto, and the remaining 49% is like, I don't invest. Like, nobody hates it, right? And then you have, I think it was 59% of the people that vote for the Democrats that likes crypto, right? And it's like, so you're trying to run for the Senate, while you know that half of your audience likes what you're trying to destroy and the rest don't care.
Not only likes, there is a good portion that actively use it, and she wants to ban their wallet.
How to end
you want to just take away everyone's
career.
money. That's
it's like how to end your political career in a week.
I want to take your money away.
Yeah. Do you have money? No. Bad you, bad citizen.
Put it in a bank.
And I will take it from you. Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. Come on, Elizabeth. Come on.
So I believe on February 4th.
Oh no! On February 14th, John froze. He's frozen. But that's okay, everybody. We can just laugh at this picture until John is not frozen anymore. If you would like. Yeah, he's frozen. Rip internet. Yeah, right, Imre. Hey, stuff happens sometimes. It's okay. But I was what do you guys think, Imre, Sue? What do you guys think? Honestly, if you're gonna run for a seat in the Senate, and you're building it on top of basically this whole thing here, this entire thing, anything that's anti anything is like, it's just, look, I hate this thing, so vote for me so I can do something about it. Like, how does that even work? Why would you do that? I mean, how can you expect to win votes by that? But so for me, it's more like, I guess it could be more like she's playing the bad guy, in order to create more like FUD for crypto. But, with this whole choke point thing that we talked about earlier, the United States trying to fight, the United States trying to fight the crypto asset class, basically. And then she does this as well to kind of build up on top of this whole thing. Positioning herself to get a payout. I don't know about that, Sue. It's like, if you don't get any votes, you're not really getting paid, because then you'll not have the position that you want, right? It's a weird thing, this whole the political side of all this. With like, first and foremost, crypto needs regulations. right? Which is something that we get from from Europe pretty soon, because in Europe we're doing this. Um, I don't know if it's about the votes, Imre. What I think she's trying to say that she's positioning herself as one of the anti-crypto people, obviously. And now with all the people that are kind of on that bandwagon, she might think that she'll get those votes from those people. But it's a very small number of people. Like, didn't they do any research in order to, like, if you're a politician, you want to cater to most of the people, right? You don't want to pick a very, like, this is such a small thing that she's going to focus on, and that's not really going to win her many votes, I don't think. So I don't know. I think this woman is really shooting herself in the leg here. Let's see if I can find this other, and something else that's happened as well, guys. I don't know if you, I don't know if any of you guys are using the Bitrex in the United States. I don't know about you, so I know you're from the States, but Bitrex is actually shutting down with this whole. I'm just in here a little bit. They're winding down their operations in April to shut down their American crypto exchange, basically, which is really sad because they've been around for 9 years, and basically what they're saying is Bittrex will shut down the platform on April 30th after 9 years of operations. And that's a long time, right? And they say it is not economically viable for us to continue to operate in the current United States regulatory and economic environment. Like, the United States is literally destroying themselves, right? Like, the whole point of this is the United States is making it so difficult for people to invest and work with crypto. Like, nobody wants to, like, they're going to make sure that nobody wants to start a cryptocurrency company, like, build a project or whatever in the United States, because, like, who wants all this nonsense from Elizabeth Warren, for example, who wants to do anti-crypto army type stuff, which is super weird. And then you have this thing where at the same time you got Europe building a regulatory framework for the crypto asset class as a whole, a whole different asset class, instead of the United States that refused to do any type of framework for crypto at all. They're basically just saying, oh, it's a security this, or this is a commodity, and da-da-da, instead of just making make new rules. It's a new asset class. Make new rules. I don't see why that's so difficult. It's super weird. And because of that they're not doing that, they're getting these things where, crypto companies will not even consider to build their platform in the United States, which is kind of what Europe did, right? So Europe missed out on the whole, like, the internet wave, right? Because Europe just didn't do anything with it. America did, though. That's why you have all these huge, Web 2 companies in the United States. You got YouTube, you got Google, all these things, all these massive companies, Facebook, like, because they jumped on the wagon early, right? And said, oh, this is a new thing. We're going to do something with this. We're going to make sure that, regulations are there and put laws together that will work in our advantage. I mean, Silicon Valley, exactly. Now they're doing the complete opposite with crypto. And my argument is that maybe it's because they realize that they can't actually control crypto. They can control internet stuff. You can control. It's easy to bribe somebody at Twitter. Well, not anymore because it's Elon Musk, but but it's easy to bribe and control someone who runs, let's say, YouTube, whatever. You can always get in there, and this is what we saw from the Twitter files, right? Where U.S. government officials basically, and the FBI and all these type of things. They were basically working with Twitter, former Twitter, before pre-Elon Twitter, and basically telling them what to censor and not, which is completely ridiculous because that's against the Constitution, free speech, right? I guess not. But either way, so if you have this whole new Web3 thing that's coming out, and you have Bitcoin, and you see the United States, and you're like, oh, we can't control this. We can't control the person that runs Bitcoin because nobody does. Maybe that's why they don't like crypto. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's a far-fetched thing, but at least Europe is embracing this. I know China seems to be embracing it now a little bit more. I think they were going to do something in Hong Kong, which I can't remember what it was, but it was something good. So it's starting to become this proper thing in Europe, and I think it will be very good for Europe because Europe missed out on the internet wave, right? There's no huge, basically the only huge like Web 2 thing from Europe is Spotify, which is a Swedish company, by the way. Sweden, yes. So I think Europe is doing the right thing here with creating a new framework for this and not being anti-crypto. But we'll have to wait and see what that does, because again, United States is the biggest, I guess one of the biggest market in the world, and if crypto gets crushed there, then yeah, there's not going to be as much money coming in. However, most major crypto companies will be based in Europe, most likely, or the Asian countries. So I really think the United States is going to fall behind on this big time, and they already are falling behind on this. So we'll see. By the way, now that we are talking about Europe already, and by the way, I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on this thing. I mean, if you're not gonna, especially from the Americans, and I know Sue and Jay, you're both Americans. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm gonna try to ping John here, by the way, because he got booted out for some reason. Oh, consent. Oh, there he is. Just as I sent you the message asking where you went, I was like, no.
Just got internet back on. That was
okay.
Wicked.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Welcome back. Well, welcome back. We were laughing at Elizabeth Warren, and then when you disappeared, I was talking about how the United States is pushing away this new wave of technology, which means the United States are gonna kind of Europe missed out on the Web 2 wave, and now America is gonna miss out on Web 3 because they're scared of it. Maybe it's because they can't control it in the same way as you can control Web 2. You know how Twitter kind of worked together with the United States government to do weird stuff?
It's different, though. In the sense of, because we've had this talk, but we never went like too much further in depth in that regard. Yeah. This time around with Web 3, there's a lot more individualistic ways for people in the United States to still be a massive part of it.
Yeah.
It's just the U.S. government has decided that they don't really want to participate.
Yeah.
Versus when it was like the internet, it wasn't just governments that didn't want to participate. It was whole entire groups of people that didn't want to participate whatsoever. This time around, now you have whole entire nations and their people that want to participate. And then you have the U.S. government that's just like, nah, hard stop, guys. You're doing this wrong.
No. I just find it weird that looking at the success of Web 2 in the United States, how most of the major Web 2 companies are all based in the United States, right? And that was because they embraced it really fast and they created regulatory frameworks for it very fast, and they were smart with it, right? And now that is currently happening in Europe, because I've seen a lot of talk about this thing with how Europe is, in the forefront right now with creating regulatory framework. I was listening to Anders Larsson, who is the CTO, the old CTO for Ericsson. He's the guy that created 3G, 4G. I think it was something like that. He's major tech guy, right? And he's totally like, you can follow. I follow him on YouTube. CTO Larsson. That's his YouTube channel. It's fantastic. And he has a super thick Swedish accent, which is nice. I like it, because then I don't have to have it. Then there's someone else who has a thick Swedish accent, and I can pretend to be American or Canadian or something.
Probably Canadian.
Probably Canadian. I'm too nice to be American. Too friendly.
Honestly.
No, but yeah, no, but it's like, yeah. And Sue is saying petrodollar does not want to give up power. Actually, Sue, let me see if I can find something on this, because the petrodollar is about to die.
I actually have some very fun comments to say about this as well after the news that I've been reading.
So here,
As I'm sure.
let me just share this real quick. Oh, I agree. There we go. Saudi Arabia considers accepting the Chinese yuan.
That's exactly what I was going to talk about.
Instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. I don't think people understand how major this is. If this happens, and with the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, what's the I again? I don't. Either way, it's a bunch of major players in the economic, world, and finances that are now talking about getting rid of the dollar as the world reserve currency. And if they do, there's not going to be a lot of time left for the US dollar as a world reserve currency, because it's a weapon at this point. The US dollar is a weapon. If a country is doing stuff that the United States don't like, right, they can use the dollar that they control as a weapon, because all the debts are in American dollars, because they have to be. But if they start weaning this out, boom, major problem for the United States. And maybe that's a bad thing for a while, and maybe it's a good thing in the long term. Who knows? But one of the things that I would like to see is to have, instead of having gold reserves, you should have Bitcoin reserves, right?
So well, here's more what I'm actually thinking about in the long-term sense of what all this specifically means. If this happens, all the members of the OPEC, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, are probably going to have to follow suit in some form or fashion, because not enough of them truly rely on US dollars in that sense if the yuan takes over for Saudi Arabia. That includes Algeria, Angola, Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Libya, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Venezuela. That is a very, very large list of, the oil-producing countries.
Yes.
And if they all switch to the yuan, that's going to massively change the world economic system.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think this is why the BRICS, the whole BRICS thing is going on right now with Russia and China and all these other countries. Let me just find the BRICS thing.
I mean, Russia and China just agreed on a mutual deal as they're looking over whether or not they want to go, or whether or not Russia wants to move forward with accepting different terms. So
yeah,
that's pretty big news.
It's pretty big news. Like, and the scary thing is that I don't know if it's scary. It's kind of scary because when things change on a major scale, you don't know what's going to happen. And especially with China already having, a CBDC basically out there. At this point, oh, hi, John. It's the Rosers. I can hear them. It's the cops.
The station's like 2 blocks that way. I can close my window.
Anyway, no. So I think it's gonna be
Maybe they're finally coming for that homeless dude. Sorry.
oh, the car thief or the car parts the car hangout guy. I don't even know.
It was
Something.
weird.
He's doing something. Yeah, it's right. They're looking for them. They're looking for the man. Yeah. Oh, hi Dominic. See you
Jay.
there too. And Sue has already started running. It's great, guys. All right, so um, I don't know about all this, man. Everything is so there's so much uncertainty out there right now. Like the only thing that's certain for me is that the EU is trying to do something good with the crypto regulations.
Yeah.
That's the only certain thing that I know is happening, and I've heard a lot of good things about it.
And in that
So
essence, I am, in my mind, kind of hoping that Europe is willing to, I guess, be a majority leader in what the world produces again. Just because there is a lot of creative talent that's in the United States kind of pushed down or shied away from.
Yep.
The United States kind of just pushes down and gets rid of a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's not really discussed in this kind of manner. But when it comes to Web3, there's a lot of free speech coming forward with it, and a lot of people that want to understand what regulations are going to be, how they're going to be able to use this, whether or not they even can use this to further develop themselves, their businesses. And if Europe's going to provide that, you might see maybe a small exodus, maybe a larger exodus of people from the United States to other foreign countries in order to move forward with their lives.
I mean, imagine if you're a developer and you're creating a crypto project, for example, and you are in the United States, right? And then you're seeing all these things that's going on right now with the SEC trying to crush everything basically without even like they're suing Coinbase, and their Coinbase says, "Why are you suing us?" They're like, "You'll find out later." Like,
Kinda.
okay, so how can we fix this? What are we being sued for? We don't know. You're being sued. Like, what? Like, if
They
you're a
say it's
developer
based
and
on
you
their
want to build
coin
a crypto,
offerings because
like,
some of the coin
let's
offerings did end up going awry. They're
right,
not.
but
They only have so much control.
but if you are a developer in the United States and you're starting up a crypto project, like so an NFT project at new layer one, and then you look at the United States and you see everyone hates you, right? Everyone in the government hates you. They want to crush you. There's an anti-crypto army in the government, apparently. And then you look towards Europe, and Europe says, "Here, we're making a framework. Here it is, and it's actually good." It's like, are you going to start your company in the United States, or are you going to build your dream company in Europe?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the same time, I mean, you're American, John, and I'm Swedish. Comparing like living standards in Sweden to most other countries, to be fair, but let's take an example: Sweden versus America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, living in Sweden is kind of great. So if you were starting a massive crypto company and you just move to Sweden to do it, you have people that speak English like this at the same time as you have a government that or the European government that likes you and wants to help you build your project, instead of, Gary Gensler standing over your head with a shotgun being like, dude, America is not going to be on this wagon.
It's
like even Sue is saying Ripple is talking about going to Georgia. Georgia isn't that do you mean the state or
the country
or the country, the country in Europe? I'm guessing you mean the country.
I would assume that he means the country, because I
Yeah.
have seen an impressive amount of people within the crypto community starting to talk about smaller European countries.
Yep.
One, in fact, being Liechtenstein, which I thought was rather interesting. But apparently, with
That's
the
a very
banking
small country.
that is a
It's like
very small country, but with the way their banking system is and the way that the whole entire economy works there, there's been apparently an increase in the amount of people that are interested in starting businesses abroad versus in the United States, which is honestly kind of cool to see. I mean, even I'm looking at opening businesses abroad because I realize that in the United States it's going to be a lot harder to do what I want to do, and it be a dream because it's just it's just significantly harder. There's a lot more obstacles in the way. There's a lot more red tape. Yeah, really showing how small this thing is.
so here you have Austria, right? This whole thing right here, and then you have Slovenia, Croatia, you got Switzerland, right? France over here, and then that little flab here, that's Liechtenstein. It's a very small country. So when we say small country, we mean it.
We mean it.
We mean it. No, but it's like I started thinking about that clip where it's the guy who plays that Asian guy that plays the doctor. No, not the doctor. That plays in The Hangover, who is a doctor in real life.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
looking at that little note and he's like, that's what I saw in my head when I started talking about Liechtenstein.
Well, it is really tiny. It is really, really tiny.
Yeah, it's bigger than I am because I'm just a person. True story. Yeah, I know.
Thank you, Phil.
I'm a messed up person. So yeah, I think honestly, I think Europe is gonna crush it in the next decade. Like this decade is gonna be Europe's decade for crypto, I think. And maybe that's something I'm really brave saying that, but I think being early with something is good. Like the guys that invested in Bitcoin in 2011, they're doing pretty good now. So
Some of them.
well, unless they put their hard drive in a landfill somewhere.
Some people did some sad stuff.
Yeah, some really sad stuff. But okay, let's see what are you saying, hey guys? By the way, everyone is watching. Jay, Sue, Imre, everybody, give us your questions as well. We want to answer stuff and things.
Zoo did say that it was the country as well, the country of Georgia, which does make sense.
Yeah, because moving from one state in the United States to another state doesn't really make much difference. Which is why I thought, okay, yeah, he means the country. Yep, perfect. So, John, when are you gonna move to Sweden and hang out? Serious question.
As far as moving out of the United States, honestly, it's been a question that I've thought of before, mostly because I do enjoy traveling, and I actually do enjoy Thailand a lot. In my mind, because of how everything works out, I do have my certain VA benefits, which is my veteran affairs for being a military veteran, and it is kind of hard to think that I went through the military and fought for my country and did all of this work and whatnot, and now I have these benefits, and now I'm just going to go and live somewhere else and just kind of be that, I don't know, like an expat or something. That just seems like a very odd fit, and yet the more that I travel, the more that I meet people that did exactly that, and it's a little odd.
I don't think it's odd.
Well, for me, like a lot of the veterans I know and have known growing up, they're all just very much like, America, fuck yeah, gotta have my guns. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Go have your guns then.
And honestly, I do appreciate the fact that they are very patriotic in that manner. So I never really thought about moving out of the country once I had joined the military. Yet joining the military then made me see all the other countries, and I was like, oh wow, there's options.
Hey, there's other stuff. Wow.
Yeah, and the more that I've been like thinking lately, especially in the past probably like 2 years, it does feel like it's a fair potential that moving out of the United States isn't too far off from what I would be doing next. Whether it's Sweden, I mean, Sweden would be pretty fun, most because you're there and the food's amazing. And
I don't know about that, but the food's okay. We don't have like extravagant foods like France or Italy. Like we just have like
what do you mean
food.
by okay? But I don't really like pasta that much, so that's fine. And then France, okay. Do you guys have wine?
Well, yeah, but not from
But you have
here.
mead, and that's all I really care about. So like,
One place has mead.
one place has mead.
Yeah, there's a restaurant in Sweden that's built on what? Oh, my cat did. my, my cat did the dog thing, where he sits down and drags
Yeah, and
himself on the
drags. Yeah.
carpet. He just did that. And sorry, Imre, I saw your question. I want to see your cat, but he just scratched his butt on my carpet and left. So sorry, I can't do that. But no, in Sweden we don't really have much. We have crypto-friendly people though, so that's good. But yeah, we don't really have that much fun. Like we have meatballs, but that we don't really like the.
You're not really selling your
food.
country right now. You're just
Dude,
like, have you been to IKEA? It's kind of like that.
Dude, the Swedish national we don't have like meatballs and pancake days. We have Taco Tuesday, which is not even Swedish food; it's Mexican food.
We have Taco Tuesday. That's fine.
Yeah, but it's like the national dish in Sweden is now tacos. It's like what?
What?
Sweden likes different cultures, which is cool. So we have like every culture here. Yeah, like walk down the road and you'll have like obviously the regular Swedish restaurants, but then you have like Italian restaurants. You have what's it called? French restaurants, and you have Japanese restaurants, Chinese restaurants. Like you have all these different ones. So it's walking around in the city, you'll get all the other countries' food. So you don't really get any Swedish food. You just get every other country's food.
Do you have American restaurants?
No, we don't eat bad food. Yes, but that's just steak. So
what?
American food is basically steak and grease.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just making fun of the States as much as I can.
Jeez, man. I'm trying to like think about what American food is, and I'm like, all right, so we got like a hot dog, we got a hamburger. I think probably mac and cheese.
Dude, American food is like
it's boring, honestly.
Hamburgers.
Yeah.
Okay, every country has hamburgers.
Well, now they do.
Well, yeah, because America, right? Okay, we've completely lost the ball here. We're talking about crypto today. No, actually, the podcast for everybody who's watching this, the podcast in the future will be that we have a guest. We'll start having guests like more regularly later on. We just need to finish off some loose ends with other stuff first, right? To start actually trying to grow this thing like properly. But the idea is that the podcast is going to be, we bring some crypto guy in who is big in the crypto space, and then we hang out kind of like this, and then we can end up talking about food. We can end up talking about how plastic is made. I don't know, like whatever. So the idea is that we're going to see the people behind the crypto, so we don't just see that if I brought Charles Hoskinson in here, for example, right, I wouldn't just talk about Cardano and crypto. I'd like to talk about his ranch.
Know about him a little bit too.
Yeah, so we get to know who the people are. Otherwise, it's just only serious work all the time. It's hard to like somebody if you only know what they do for work. For some reason, I don't know. Okay, and Sue says, don't forget about crack. We have crack in the United States. Well, great. That's yes.
Fair.
Every country has that too. So.
Are you proud of that?
I don't, are you asking? You're asking Sue?
I'm asking Yeah, I'm not sure. If I'm asking you or Zoo.
I guess you're asking both. Yeah, don't do drugs, people. It's that. Don't do dangerous drugs. Wait, don't do drugs. Just don't. Whatever. FYI, the most dangerous drugs, according to research, is alcohol
That makes sense.
by a large margin.
I'm sure fentanyl's really creeping up.
Yeah, it's not great. But I wonder if, hold on, let's see. We should have a look at the fear and greed index today as well, because lately it's been a little bit. It's been like the market has kind of rounded off. I'll show what I mean here. The market has kind of rounded off here, like this, like it did down here, and everybody was thinking, big dump, blah blah blah. But so far, it seems like the market wants to keep going up. It is uncertain though. But this time, the fear and greed index is at 61 still, which is a bit surprising to me, to be honest. I did not think that crypto would hold this greed level on the fear and greed index for this long. Usually you see these big pumps up to greed, and then you see big dumps, right? But not now. Just looking at 1 year, like it's been steadily growing. So, well, I don't know. I mean, the sentiment on Twitter, for example, is much more happy now. There's a lot of talks about just happy stuff.
Well, do you remember that meme I sent you probably about like a year ago, where it's just like,
You send me a meme every day.
rude. True, you're right. Okay, but it's literally just one that had the top portion just says crypto, and
Yeah.
it says when green line go up, post good meme. When red line go down, post sad meme.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I also remember, by the way, for those of you who has used the fear and greed before, they changed it to say when it's all red, it says buy, and then on green it says sell. Right? Normally, people do the other way around. This is when they start buying here, when it says greed. But I liked that. It's a good way of understanding this little indicator.
No, that's a very good way to explain it across the board. That's
I do think we also broke out of. We're actually in the accumulate phase right now, according to the rainbow chart. I mean, I guess, like we're not really talking about this now, but
I would say
overall,
that for me personally, it's hard to say this is an accumulation phase.
yeah, I don't
Totally
agree
could
with
be
that.
wrong, but I would
For
say
me,
that.
For me, it's buying in the green here on the MBRE.
Yeah.
But again, early on the way out maybe is not bad either, because I mean, if you look at how it happened here, you get this big pump here, and you get the same thing here. Like it stays out of it. Like buying now, if this is going to continue to go up, it's not going to be cheaper to wait usually. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not going to dump down and retest some stuff, but it's like, I don't. If it's Bitcoin for me, I'm like, I don't really care when I'm buying it, as long as I'm not buying it at the tops.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's a fair way to put it. There's, as long as you're willing to DCA even, and just watch what you're putting in, that's more often than not still the best method. Now, if you know that it's going to be a long-term hold, granted this is not financial advice, if you're looking to do a long-term hold with a certain type of crypto, and you already have the money, more often than not, it seems that it is a more fiscally responsible decision to just put all the money in right then.
Yeah.
If it's a long-term hold, because you don't care about the short-term potentials, whatever they may be.
It's one of those. The DCA method is very well known to be good for long term, right? And usually it's best to, what I tend to do is I wait for like a big dump to happen, and then I buy at the when I think the bottom of the dump has happened. So like example, if you're looking at this chart here, when I see, if I have a bunch of cash sitting and I see this huge dump happening, once the dump starts kind of moving again, that's when I buy. So maybe I'll buy it here, and then you get this thing and you buy again, and then this thing and you buy again. Like, you can't hit the perfect bottom, right? And even, and on, now that we're talking about this, we've had a lot of questions come in since last week when we talked about the strategy that we made. And most of the questions, actually, it's quite funny because we mentioned that we're going to open up a Patreon soon, and we don't really have a date for that. And the reason to why we haven't opened it yet is because, as a company, there's a lot of things in the background you got to sort out first. In order to, if you have something that you get paid for, you have to line up a bunch of stuff with, your bank and all these things. Luckily, we found a crypto-friendly bank, which is cool. So, which allows us to actually hold crypto instead of just, fiat currencies. Either way, so we're trying to sort some stuff out. There's some paperwork. There's some stuff that needs to be sent in order to get that to kind of work, and then we'll open the Patreon. And people were asking me about the different tiers for Patreon, and I could possibly show you what we've prepared so far if you guys want to see that. What do you say, John? Should I show this? Because we made a Patreon already and everything's prepared, so we just need to open it up. And there's been a lot of questions coming because people want to support us, which is super fun to hear. Like, that's awesome for me.
Yeah.
And so I'll show this. I just need to share the correct window here. There we go. So here's the different tiers, and these might change as well, but I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what it means and what they are and what you get for what you pay for, basically. So the first membership tier usually, and the recommended amount from Patreon is $25, and we said, nah, that's too much. So we put it to $10 because we don't we're not trying to make people pay for a lot of things. Like, we've always said that the educational part of Crypto Talks is always going to be free. Like, the educational content will always be available for free because we don't think that education should be something you pay for, right? And so for the first membership tier, you're getting access to some membership channels, which is where we usually hang out, the people from Crypto Talks. And it will be a little bit more closed off from like the rest of the Discord. You will be able to submit questions for the live shows that we like in advance, so that we can get some good questions from you guys who will be members, that we can actually look into properly, do some research, and actually respond to like properly, and not just kind of wing it like we're doing it now, where we just respond to it really quickly and we kind of start discussing it. But we will take these questions. We will, if they are good questions, we will make sure that we answer them properly. We'll do some research in the background, bring it up, and then present that response on the show. So that's another thing that you get. And then these long form Saturday, the long form Saturday podcast that we're going to have with special guests in the future, you're going to have access to those too. Right now we're doing it. This is not really exactly what this will be. The future it will be with guests, and it's going to be with like 2-hour long live shows, and you're going to get access to those as well. And you'll be able to take part of our challenges and win some prizes, because we're planning to give out some prizes too. So that's what you get there with the first tier. I think mainly it's the ability to submit questions and have some special access. Because usually, like when this Discord starts growing a lot and there's a lot more people in it, in our experience, it's almost impossible for us to jump into just any channel and hang out, because there's just so many people that it will just be like there won't be a conversation, like a real like because we want to sit down with you guys like in a smaller room and hang out and talk. So that's why we're doing that. So that's the one thing. The other thing, the second tier is going to be $25 a month, and that's going to be everything from the first tier, and then you're also gonna get access to our research papers and studies in text format. So you get access to the Google Drive, where we put some nice stuff, where we actually do, like, we're gonna present, like when we did the Blur podcast. If you guys remember that one, we did a bunch of research, we put it in some paperwork, and then we kind of talked about it for 2 hours or something, right? And we were hard on them, but that's the thing. We're not gonna be that place where we shill stuff. That's never gonna happen. Like if we like it, we like it. If we don't, we don't. We're gonna say that. So, and we're gonna show you why as well. But for this strategist, you're gonna get access to those papers and the studies that we do as well. And obviously, we would love to give people all this stuff for free, but the problem is that if you have a whole team that's working, and it's a lot of work to do this research, by the way, and writing all these things, and so we would like to pay our people. You know what I mean? But the big thing that people really like about this one so far in the discussions we've had with people on Discord is that you're going to get the trading strategy access. And with that, we mean the strategy that we talked about last week, Rob and I, that Rob has been creating for us, where you're going to get access to a bunch of CryptoTalks indicators, basically on TradingView, and strategies that you can follow. So that's a big thing. You'll get access to more additional Discord channels, and you're going to be able to hang out with us after these shows in Discord. We're going to jump into the membership room and hang out afterwards and kind of discuss some of the questions that we went over and stuff like that with everybody who is in that tier. And we're going to do that. Personally, I'll be there for like at least an hour every day after the shows, probably, because I like to hang out with people. But again, this is done like this mainly because in the larger Discord, with too many people having access, if everybody has access and you have 10,000 people, let's say, in the Discord, jumping into a room, it's going to fill the room up so fast that there's going to be difficulties having discussions. And we know this from experience.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I mean, if you did it almost like an AMA situation, that might be a better way, just because then you can bring up people that want to ask certain questions and have their small discussions as we go. Totally plausible way to do that, especially because Discord has those capabilities.
Yep.
Alternatively, if we were just inside a regular chat, if anyone has video up, it limits it to 25 right off the bat, and then you just have people just spamming general chat, asking why they can't get in or see anything.
Yeah. So that's not actually a thing that I haven't added to this one yet. I just realized that we're going to do AMAs for the people with the strategist level. So that's going to be accessed by that in Discord. And we'll probably do those every 2 weeks, every month, something like that. I'm not sure exactly. We'll have to plan that out when we see more things happening.
That'll honestly probably be something that's based on Rob's time limit per strategy. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, and then this is not something we're gonna activate yet. That's gonna be like, this professional side is not gonna be available right away. But this kind of just opens up, if there is any professionals in our Discord that work in the crypto space, or is maybe you're a developer and you're looking for work, we're gonna give some special rooms for that to those people, and we're probably going to change that to $25 actually, because it's just if you're already a strategist, you're not going to get the strategist stuff from this. This is just special access for professionals, so that there can be, you can find work, you can put your CV in there, you can look for work, you can look for employees if you're working in the space and all that. So we want to create a little bit of a hub for those type of people. So that's not much important for most people. And then obviously we have the baller thing, and this baller thing, it's super expensive, but mainly that's just because like the idea with this one was you don't really get anything that you need. This is just you showing off.
It really is.
Yeah, but
I mean, you do get
access.
some of the extra strategy
Yeah.
stuff, and there's some personal talks as well as some personal development that we can go over with as far as that one goes, especially in coaching along. But most of the time, it's just kind of showing off.
Yeah, no, this one is probably going to change this price as well. I think that's ridiculous, but basically you're getting access to all the tiers, the professional one as well. You get direct contact with us. Like you're going to have, you basically get access to the staff room, literally. You get free entry to all their events that we're going to have in the future. And obviously this is not something we're going to activate in the beginning. This will be activated later on. You'll get some pre-show and post-show hangout stuff. So because every time we do a show, before the show starts, we usually sit down and talk about stuff for like half an hour and what we're going to talk about and give some thoughts. The ballers
Sometimes
will
we
have
talk
access
about random people underneath cars.
right. and obviously we're gonna have a merch in the future, and the idea is that if you are a baller, every time we add something new to the
Merch shop.
The merch shop, you get one for free automatically. We just send it to you, and or you get at least like a rebate code to get one for free, like 100% off. And that's going to be like one every month. If there's like 10 items and you become a baller, every month we're going to send you a 1, 2, 3 free merch piece. And then if we add something new to it later on, you're going to get that for free every time. So that's just a fun thing. But again, the baller thing is, I don't want to say useless, but it's like, it's bragging rights basically. So all the important stuff is going to be in these two here. So, and that's the Patreon. And the reason why I talked about this now is because I got spammed by, like I just mentioned it last time. I've been getting spammed by, not spammed, but I've been contacted by a whole bunch of people in the Discord asking when they can start, joining that. And that's super cool for me because I'm like, wait, you really want to pay for this? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess we can think about it and see if we can get it done soon. But
I mean, realistically, when it comes down to the certain strategies, especially the ones that Rob has shown me in the past, they're effective as far as what they do and how they work. And the fact that you can just kind of, I don't want to say just put your money in there and sit and be happy, but that's kind of what you do once you have some of these strategies. And it's really nice. It's a comforting feeling. And if that's something that you can pay a small bit of money for in order to receive and honestly continuously receive active help and understanding of how it works, that's a really, really big step, especially for people that are looking for their own smaller financial freedoms.
Yeah, I actually discussed this with a guy who is not in crypto yet. I just randomly started talking with a guy on another Discord, and he was talking about stocks, investments, and stuff. And I sent him a screenshot of the Crypto Talk Strategy 1 right here, which is not available yet. But this one, and I showed him this, and he was like, whoa. But essentially, this is one of the strategies. And like I said, in the strategist tier, you're going to have access to all of these strategies. This is just one of them, right? And what it does is it works as an indicator on TradingView. Later on, we have a future partnership that we're working with right now, where they will make this into an automated thing on their platform. and we're going to have the founder of that project, which is, it's not a crypto project, it's not a token or anything, so there's nothing to shill, just FYI. But it's a brilliant guy, and his a couple of friends of his that we're kind of working with, and they're going to make this into an automated thing. So that means that you don't actually have to, like, you get this indicator saying buy, and then you have to go into your exchange and click on buy. All you do is you see this running on this platform that they're building. You click on activate, and it just does all this on its own, basically. So you don't have to worry about it, which means you take out all the emotion from it, which is super nice. But okay, so this is what the strategy looks like. Obviously it's not horrible. It's buying all these bottoms, it's selling a lot of these tops. Like just looking at the last one that's appeared here, it's like, yeah, buy and start selling. Like that's not bad. And that's on the daily. If you go to the 4-hourly, it's like you're not buying the perfect bottom on the different time scales. Here is grade 2. You're buying these bottoms and then you're selling off here. It's basically it's just much nicer than having to do this all on your own. So now you know what the Patreon is going to be for.
It definitely is nice knowing that there's a system that is actively being created that will allow you to use these strategies without needing to be there on a minute-to-minute basis or an hour-to-hour basis and clicking through transactions.
Yeah, and again, like with the Patreon thing, we would love to make things free, always free, with everything. And so we actually sat down and we looked at, if you guys know who Raoul Paul is, one of the biggest hedge fund managers, or previous hedge fund managers in the world, one of the best macro analysts in the world. His company, they do these strategies as well, and I've seen a lot of other YouTubers. Basically, you have to buy one strategy for $25 each, and they have a bunch of different strategies. And I don't really, for me, crypto is about helping people get financial freedom, not making people pay a bunch of money for one little thing. So that's why we said you get full access for $25, right? I feel that's fair. And then we can actually do this stuff actively and work with this constantly instead of having to go to a job every morning, hopefully.
I mean, this would be the job, which honestly helps out a lot of people. So
that would be nice.
That would be nice.
And in the mission statement for Crypto Talks on the Discord, if you haven't seen it, it basically says that our job is to help with the mass adoption of crypto. That's what we want to do, right? And if this helps us do that, then that's great. And Jay has asked us to do some quick TA on Litecoin. Litecoin. Yeah, I haven't done Litecoin in a long time. But here's the beautiful thing about having this strategy, and I'll put it on the Litecoin thing as well, is that you don't have to do TA at that point. You just turn it on.
That is actually quite true. The ability to activate and immediately start kind of like seeing the benefits. That's impressive. Your TA, while you should still try and do the best that you can, it's not required there.
It disappeared.
Litecoin?
LTC USDT Tether. And now it added it. Okay. Ooh.
Weird.
Oh, it's been very. That's pretty good. Because this is the daily. I haven't done Litecoin in a long time, Jay. But it's. That's funny. Double tops. So Litecoin seems to be like an oscillator of Bitcoin or something like that. I wonder if I have the BTC LTC pair here. Yeah. Okay. Let's do some TA on this. I'm guessing you're talking about some short term. So what I'll do is I'm just going to activate the Bollinger Band first. Okay, so start an uptrend. Let's do some trend lines. Oh, wait, how far does that go? No, not really. Does it anchor here? Oh, it anchors there. Okay. That's not bad. That's an obvious uptrend for me, but you see how it broke this trend line before. This is the previous trend line. And yeah, you see the dump there afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So if we do this, this is currently, it's kind of a channel, I guess. You could also place it here if you really want to. Oh. That's shorter term with a much more boring
Okay.
line.
I
Here,
honestly
let's
see more of a
do
channel.
this.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna say.
Yeah,
That's where I
yeah,
saw
it's
the
definitely
channel.
it's definitely more of a channel. So that's a good start. Let's see what it does on the weekly. Oh, yeah, that's definitely doing something. Let's see, daily. And I'm just gonna do this on the daily, Jay. Yeah, LTC has been known to be used as type of has been known to be used as type of indicator for Bitcoin and bull bear market stuff. Yeah, that's true. It has kind of worked like that. Like Litecoin, Bitcoin kind of responds to Litecoin, so to speak. But currently, if we add RSI, you could argue it's bounced on the middle line on the RSI here. It's starting to, at least, and at the same time bouncing on the middle Bollinger Band. So that would, I mean, we're in the middle of the channel, but that would suggest that it's gonna start moving up here as well. But again, everything depends on what Bitcoin does. So personally, I kind of just do TA on Bitcoin, and then everything else I just try to find buy where I should buy, if it dumps or if it pumps, where I should sell. I don't really do TA on it much else because Bitcoin is king, and Bitcoin, everything will follow Bitcoin's moves. But what we can do for fun here, Jay, is we can try the indicator and see what it's done. Okay, this is not bad. So here's the strategy again. So what the strategy actually does is it uses the Gaussian channel, which is this channel here. It uses the RSI, the Bollinger Bands, and then it uses Bollinger Bands on the RSI to determine, and it uses a bunch of other stuff too, but it has a bunch of perimeters that have to go off and say now it's buying, right? The more indicators that say buy, the better closer you are to a bottom usually, and then it's time to buy. So this strategy kind of just puts together a whole lot of indicators saying it's time to buy, and then it makes these buy signals down here and the sell signals here when it crosses that. So this top is basically perfectly sold. Didn't buy back here. It's sold in the middle here, and it's sold here close to the top. Like, this is not going to be a perfect thing. It's never going to be perfectly hitting the bottom and perfectly selling the top. But nevertheless, it's like it buys a portion here, it buys a portion here, and then it sells a portion here, a portion here, portion. So it doesn't sell everything and buy everything. Right? So looking at the daily, you see how it's like a DCA thing, but you see how it's hitting these tops pretty well. So it's selling very close to these tops on every top, and then it's buying fairly close to the bottoms. So that's why this kind of works. If we look on the weekly, it's going to be even better. So buying here, selling here, buying here, selling, buying. No sell signal yet, which argues that we're going to see some more pumps up here. I know that it has to be a green Gaussian channel for this to sell. That's one of the things. So, but yeah, I think Litecoin, Jay, again, it's hard to do TA on Litecoin and use that. What I would do is I would say, if it dumps again, I would try to buy somewhere close to here, to this channel. If I turn on the Bollinger Bands as well, when it goes outside the Bollinger Bands, that's going to be a good indicator. I would try to buy somewhere around here, obviously, because that was outside of the Bollinger Bands too. But in terms of this, following this line and trying to put a limit order somewhere around like $75 maybe for Litecoin, if it dumps. If it doesn't dump, obviously you're not going to be buying, right? But again, trying to find these levels where you have support. There's support. That's support. I put that there. But yeah, we're gonna round it off here anyway, guys. John has to go, and it's 10 p.m. here, so I'm gonna have to go as well. It was a bit shorter today, but we're gonna round it off, and then we're gonna see you guys next time, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, we're rounding it off, boys, and we'll see you in the Discord. By the way, make sure to subscribe, like, do all those things that we do, that we tell you to do, and show everybody you ever known this channel. Thank
Yes,
you.
please do it.
All right, gotta go.
Do it.
Bye.
Bye.